Right guys, we're going to do a side lying hip raise here. This is one of my favorite exercises for glutes. Completely underrated as well because you very rarely see it done, okay? So this is combining the abduction and to some degree the hip extension function of the glutes here. So you're going to be working the abductors, so the glute medius, the glute minimus, and you're also going to be working the gluteus maximus, okay, the largest of the three primary glute muscles, okay? So what you want to do here is you want to set up in kind of like a side plank position, but your 2 points of contact are going to be your forearm or your elbow, as well as your knee, okay? So your knee or your lower leg is going to be staying on the floor, okay? What you're doing then is I'm starting with my hip kind of in a flexed position, but as I come up to the top, I'm going to be raising this top leg, bringing my hip up, and I'm extending my hip at the same time. So I'm thinking about pushing that hip through, squeezing the glute of the bottom leg, raising that hip up, dropping it down, raising it up, down, up. So you want to keep this nice and controlled. You can speed it up a little bit once you've got the technique nailed, but the first thing I'd like you to get is feeling those glutes working throughout, okay? So I want you to feel like the glutes are working. If you're feeling like this is kind of being taken over by your back or just your obliques, for example, I would slow it down and I would really focus on starting to push that hip through at the top and squeezing that glute. You should feel it working quite a bit then. The movement of the top leg isn't as important. It's more of a rhythm thing, really. Some people prefer to perform it in such a way that they keep the heels together as they do it. I personally prefer to keep the top leg elevated. I just find it a little bit easier to coordinate, okay? So it's a relatively small range of motion movement. So as a result, you don't want to rush it. You don't want to be bumping off the bottom and just kind of throwing yourself back up. Take control of the exercise. Focus on feeling that bottom glute work and you'll get a hell of a lot out of this underrated glute exercise.